Welcome to Chowchilla, California, a place you may have heard of and may not have heard of. I mostly know of Chowchilla as a place where there's a women's prison, but there are so many more unexpected things. We're going to start with some fossils that are even older than I am. We're going to end up at a space where it was a very famous crime in 1976. Are you ready for this adventure to the Pleistocene Era and to the 70s, which some of us remember with great love?
This is the Pleistocene Era, and right behind it, what you see is a landfill, because yes, these fossils were first discovered by an employee at the landfill. Can you believe that? But before we go inside, let's check out another sort of fossil from the 1940s.
Behind me is the Mammoth Orange, which is also a part of California history that's maybe going to become a fossil itself. In fact, it would be if it wasn't placed here by the people from the California Citrus Association. It really has a funny story, though. This is actually from Chowchilla, which we are in Fairmead, which is a part of Chowchilla. And the story of competing Mammoth Orange type places is actually kind of funny. So the Mammoth Orange shops sprung up all over California. Unfortunately, there's none of them left, but wouldn't it be fun to actually have this refurbished and have it operate as a juice stand here? Great place for kids' parties, etc. I'd actually like to see more of them. I think it would be fun. What do you think? Behind me here is a Yokits village. These, right there, that's actually a granary. That's how the Yokits people kept their grains, their food sources safe, and I just love that. Over this is a home. And there's another home right over there. And I'm grateful that the people from this museum decided to share about the Yokits people as well as the fossils and as well as the Mammoth Orange.
This trail is taking us back in time to the Pleistocene Era, and now we'll see a little bit of the present.
By the way, right on the other side here, you have the landfill, and then you have an orchard. I'm not sure what these are. They're neither oranges nor almonds. They may be cherries. I'm not sure. People ask, why are there fossils here? Because it used to be a wetland and a watering hole.
Animals would come here, they would eat here, they would get nourished here, and they would die here, and their bones were left behind. When the employee of the landfill noticed something different as he was driving his big truck over the grounds, he stopped, took a pause, and let his bosses know something looked different. And that brief moment of attentive noticing was the birth of the largest Pleistocene era fossil find in the western United States, which gave rise to this museum that we are visiting here today. I call that a certain special kind of miracle, when one person's observations and willingness to stop the flow of work because something looked interesting is a message to us all. Don't you think? Do you pay close attention when you're doing routine things about your job, hobby, excitement?
Right now I'm standing in a place of happy endings here in Chowchilla, California, where a bus, or children who had been on a bus that was hijacked and taken to Lemoore, California, which I will double check, but it's several hundred miles away, and buried underground. This hijacking story took flight, not literally, but over the news wires across the country as people waited to see what on earth happened. What happened to this disappearing school bus? How can a school bus disappear? Well, it can be buried if you have the right location to bury it. Thankfully, bravery gave the story a happy ending, which culminated in the reunion with the family members and the children on the bus, right in this very spot. There have been movies made, there have been all kinds of stories over time, but this is the first time I've ever heard of it. And I'm fascinated. Because you look around now and you're like, wow, why did they choose Chowchilla? Maybe I'll do some more research.
The final of the three kidnappers who were 24 and 25 years old from the San Francisco area, was paroled in 2022. I've linked to an article about that in the description.
I'm really curious what happened to these children and the bus driver. Where are they now? What have they done? Have they continued to tell this story?
My favorite part of any museum experience is the wonder that it brings to the people who visit, and all of the collections of discovery, the collections of things we don't normally see. Look at that huge bear. That is a bear skeleton. Of course, I connect well with that standing up, very tall bear. You know, you just never know what you'll bump into in a museum. You never know how your heart will be opened, how your senses will be moved, and who you will connect with, whether it is an ancient animal or a current day person, or what I feel like this museum does very well, which is beyond all of this stuff they hold on to and display, they also have experiences. And so my little friend, I made friends with these folks, and they got to be explorers and actually dig up fossils, which was so much fun. And the experience adds to the curiosity, at least from my wealth of knowledge of museums, which I have gathered a lot this year. I have been to so many museums, and I'm so grateful that I took you along with me. Do you have a favorite museum from those we visited together, or a favorite museum of your own in a place that you have explored? I'd love to hear about it in the comments. It's hard to imagine that this trip to Chowchilla, California was actually 4 months ago, and I'm just now getting around to share it with you. Number one, I apologize. Number two, when I was researching the kidnapping incident, I found that there are 11 places of interest in Chowchilla, according to TripAdvisor. I have to confess, this kind of shocked me. 11 places, when all I thought was in Chowchilla to start off was the women's prison? This reminds me that literally any place you go, you'll find new things if you have your heart, your mind, and your observation skills ready to go. Like that place, the center of California, where we went a couple of weeks ago, or was it just last week? Where I balanced a book on my head in the geographic center of California. If you haven't seen that, I will attempt to put a link in here to that video. But most people had never been there that I talked to who lived so close. They didn't even know it existed. So here's my challenge to you. Do a little bit of searching of places to visit near where you are and see what you can come up with that you haven't visited yet. And then go on an adventure. Take a quick video. Share it with friends. Let them know that I suggested it. Maybe, if you'd like to. As you know, we're always trying to grow our channels. So thank you so much. If you're new here, please subscribe. I love getting comments, and I appreciate when you share my videos and engage in any way that you like. I appreciate you, and thanks for coming along with me on this spontaneous visit to a not very well-known town called Chowchilla, California. I wonder where our adventures will take us next. The only way to find out is to keep coming back.